Have you ever tried growing your own fresh potatoes at home? There's something really special about digging your hands through the dirt and bringing out these golden nuggets ready to cook for dinner. Now I'm going to show you some that are growing here in a potato bag planter. So I'll take the pest-free mini off. We use that to stop all the bugs. And we're going to have a peek in the side here and see these potatoes are growing. Now a bit of soil is probably going to fall out, so we'll have a little bit of a dig here. There's a little one there. We'll see. There's another one there. That one's a good size. Looking good. Let's see if we can get any more. There's another one happening here. And so these potato bags are designed so that you can come through and do a bit of harvesting before the overall plant is ready. Let's head over and we'll start from scratch and I'll show you the steps for growing potatoes in a bag. Now this is a large potato bag, so we're going to be planting about 5 to 6 seed spuds in this one and letting them grow. It's the same size as the one I showed you before. So the first step is going to be to add some potting mix to it. Now we're not going to fill it all the way to the top. We might fill it about a third of the way to maybe a half. Now you can buy potting mix in bags or you can get it in bulk from your local soil yard, which will work out a lot cheaper. So if you're going to be doing a few potato bags or some other GFL planters, I'd suggest getting it delivered. Okay, we've filled it up to just a bit below halfway and we're going to grab our seed spuds here. Now they're not really seeds, are they? They're actual potatoes, but we call them seed potatoes when we're referring to that we're going to plant them into the soil. So I'm going to push those in, bring the camera in, have a look. So we just push those down into the soil. We'll put a couple more in there, just so they're sitting below the soil. Then we'll add a bit of fertilizer in there. So I'm just going to use a slow release fertilizer. The Ferticoat one works great. We'll sprinkle that around. That'll give them a bit of a boost to get them started, and then we'll just give it a good watering. So we need to give it a bit of a watering in now that we've planted it. This is the most important watering you do, is this first one. Give it a good soak, but then just leave it maybe for a week or two until you actually start seeing the leaves sprouting before you do any further watering, because we don't want those potatoes that you've planted in there to be rotting. Our overall aim is for the soil to be damp. So you can just stick your finger in. If it's a nice dark color, then generally there's enough moisture. If it's looking a bit dry, then give it a bit of a water. So probably every few days you'll need to do that once the leaves are sprouted. Now we've positioned our potato bag. It's going to be in full sun facing north, getting a few hours of sunlight every day, which it's going to help it grow. But the potatoes themselves, you don't want them actually being exposed to sunlight because something happens to them. They go green and poisonous. Let's have a look over here. We've got a potato that's pushed its way to the surface. And you can see it's this lovely green color. Definitely don't eat that one because that's not going to be very good for your tummy. Now, the way that we stop this from happening is as the plant grows, we keep filling more potting mix into this. So you can see that the bag I've got here, I've kept filling the potting mix up and I've buried some of the stems, and that's protecting the potatoes from that sunlight so that they will continue to grow. Now in my hand, I've got seed potatoes here and I've got shop potatoes that has been sprouting in the cupboard. Which one should we use? Now, if you're growing in the ground, you definitely should use seed potatoes because these are going to be certified virus-free, and the last thing you want is a potato virus spreading through your soil, which will be around for years and very difficult to get rid of. Whereas if you're growing in a potato bag like this, if you do have a bad batch when you're growing with store-bought potatoes, you can throw away all the soil into your red bin and then clean the bag out with a bleach solution and start again. So it's not as bad and not as big of an issue. But the potatoes that you get from the supermarket are often treated with growth inhibitors. In fact, on the bags, they'll often say things like not for growing. I think it's called maleic hydrocide is a chemical they spray on these and it stops them actually sprouting. So if you're going to use store-bought potatoes, I'd recommend getting some organic ones and letting those sprout. Now, when is it time to harvest? Well, it takes about 90 to 120 days for potatoes to do their full growing cycle. But with the potato bags, you can steal some through the side flaps earlier on than that. Now, how do you know when it's fully done? Well, the leaves will actually all die off. It'll look like the plants have actually failed, but when you tip it out, you'll find all these golden nuggets amongst that soil. A great thing to get the kids involved with. Now, the other surprising thing is you're going to find the potatoes are all different sizes, not like in the supermarkets where they're all kind of the one size and uniform. You're going to have bigger ones, mediums, you're going to have tiny little baby ones. Now what do you do with these baby ones? Well, you can eat them in salads, but you can also save them for next season's potato growing. And the way you get them to sprout, a little garden hack, is to get an egg carton, put them in the egg carton and put them like on a cool windowsill in your house, and you'll find they'll send up shoots very quickly, and then you can plant it back in the potato bag again for the next crop. Now what makes the Aussie Gardener potato bags any better than some of the other cheaper ones out there? Because there certainly are some really cheap ones. Well, basically we didn't want to sell a product that was going to fall apart. We want you to be able to use this year after year. So we made sure that the GeoFelt fabric is extra thick, it's UV stable so that it doesn't fall apart. We put double stitching all the way around, and we even made sure that the stitching is actually made of a UV stable thread as well, and it's got the handle so you can move them about. The other advantage is our large potato bag has that side flap, the window on two different sides, so you can access the potatoes from each side, getting them in early. And the other thing is that the fabric is thick, which means that the water drains away slowly, which means you have happier, healthier plants with less watering requirements. Now potatoes do get some pests. Even though the leaves are actually poisonous, there are some bugs that manage to eat the leaves and not get sick, and that is the 28 spotted ladybug. I tell you what, it takes a bit of effort to count those 28 spots, but it's going to go through and it has a ferocious appetite. It will just consume all those leaves. So the easiest way to solve this is not with sprays. We just use one of these things, which is called a pest-free mini cover, and you'll get them at the Aussie Gardener store. You just slide it over the top, and no more ladybugs can get to your potatoes. Now when should we grow our potatoes? Well, potato leaves that sprout up don't like frost. So if you live in an area that's affected by frost, you need to totally avoid that season. Now I'm in Sydney, so that's a temperate zone, and I actually don't get many frosts here, so I can basically grow them all the way through the year. But for other areas that are frost affected, try and plant from July until about February is great potato planting. If you're in a cool zone, so that's in the mountainous areas and Tassie, you would plant from August until December. And then for our friends in the warmer states, up in the subtropical and tropical regions, you can have a go from March until August, which is in your winter period. I'm so glad you're going to get some of the potato bags. You'll be able to grow your own fresh spuds very soon. Now you can buy them as singles, but I also sell them as 3-packs. And I think there's going to be a 5-pack in there as well, which is a great bundle price. Why would you need a few potato bags? Well, so that you can have a continual crop happening. So you plant one bag now, you wait another couple of weeks, you plant the next bag, you wait another couple of weeks, plant the next bag, and then they'll be ready in succession. You can keep harvesting those potatoes. Great if you especially like spuds. But not only is there a great bundle price when you get those package deals, but I'm also going to give you a discount for watching these videos. So the discount code to use is Potato Love. That is one word, Potato Love. Enter that in the checkout and it's going to get you an extra 10% off the already great bundle price for these potato bags.